So thank you for all of you coming out today in memory of Pat Weinberger. She did so much for this valley, and towards the end of her life, I was very fortunate to be able to spend time almost every day with her. I would go over to her house and get her breakfast and spend an hour with her, getting her out of bed. And when she tells stories, I'd write them down when I got home. So those stories all form the basis of what I'm saying. Caribbean wintertime vacation. Pat and Larry shared a dinner table with a couple who talked about visiting Ojai to go horseback riding over the Christmas season. Hearing Ohio instead of Ojai, the Weinbergers were mystified. Nobody goes to Ohio in winter to ride horses. After further questioning, they understood what and where Ojai was, and they decided to visit. That was a very fortunate dinner-time conversation for the future of the Ojai Valley. Pat's oldest female friend, Susie Johnson, and her physician husband, Gordon, were by now living in Ventura. Pat and Larry drove up towards Ojai on Highway 33. Larry tried to turn around 3 times as they passed through Oakview. He was not impressed by the gateway to the Ojai Valley. Pat insisted on continuing. They checked in at the Ojai Valley Inn, and the next morning they took a walk. Finding themselves on the Del Oro tract, which at that time was mostly undeveloped, they fell in love with the site at 701 and placed an offer for it that same day. They also purchased a vacant lot next door as an open space buffer. Together they planned their new home there and rented a house elsewhere while it was built. Pat had never lived in a small town before. She joined the International League of Women for Peace and Freedom, which organized candlelight vigils against the Vietnam War, shoulder to shoulder from Montgomery Street to the post office. She also saw how a good old boy network of right-wing developers was running the city. It took her 2 years to turn the council around. Pat also jumped into environmental activism right away. Among her early campaigns was stopping the construction of a freeway through Ojai from Carpinteria to Santa Paula on the Highway 150 route, and her successful opposition to the 4-laning of Highway 33 all the way from Casita Springs right into the city. Pat says she was burned in effigy by supporters of the 4-laning proposal. The campaign that Pat is most proud of was the creation of the Teague Memorial watershed around the edge of what was then the new Lake Casitas. Pat found out early on that the watershed was zoned for 10,000 single-family homes, which would have allowed for a potential brand new city of 25,000 residents on 5 square miles of land west of the lake. She founded, organized, and led 2 important environmental organizations, the Citizens to Preserve the Ojai and the County-Wide Environmental Coalition, both of which then had many hundreds of members who could be counted on to get involved and to show up and testify at public hearings. So in closing, please for a moment imagine a very different Ojai Valley. Imagine another city of 25,000 people to the west of Lake Casitas. Imagine 5 miles of open-pit phosphate mines atop Pine Mountain, with dusty trucks passing through town day and night. Imagine a 4-lane freeway passing right through Ojai on its way from Santa Paula to Carpinteria. Imagine a giant Albertsons supermarket opposite the Nordhoff High School bleachers. Imagine the bustling Weldon Canyon landfill. Imagine the air pollution from an Ormond Beach power plant twice the size of the one there now. I think you get the picture. Others might have made some dents in these proposals, but without Pat Weinberger's drive, organizational skills, and political savvy, most of those developments would have moved ahead. But before you think, thank God for Pat, I suggest instead, thank Pat for Pat. I'm sure her spirit is around here someplace watching this event, so let's have a standing ovation for Pat, please.
Winnie Haney yo, 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 Winnie Haney yo. It's time go, come to come high my. Witam tayam go, tam hukamai. Weni haney yo, weni haney yo, weni haney yo, weni haney yo. Pat, wherever you are, I know you're traveling the world, because outside of ourselves right here, for a second, we are safe. She's out there. She's already out. Her spirit is strong. She is flying around looking where there's so much more need, where there's devastation. We are so fortunate to not be in the situation that we find half our world in today.
So I have a transcript, obviously, so what I read, and I can email that to anybody. I've got a sign-up sheet on this clipboard, so afterwards, if you put your name down there, I'll send you a copy with some pictures.